Hi there, I'm John Spade. This is The Egg on Wednesday, September the 21st, 2010. And thanks for tuning in to another episode. I'm going to try to move quickly today. I've got a few things I want to talk about. I'm going to start off with, of course, Gary Vaynerchuk. You already know, I kind of give everybody a precursor to what I'm going to talk about in my egg before I get there. And I guess this sort of keeps me on track, keeps me focused. Because if I don't do that, then I have a tendency to steer off into places I don't want to go. So that's kind of what I do. I still don't script it. I get an idea of how I want to run the thing in my head. So I'm gonna look. So of course little paragraph. What do I want to talk about today? Blah 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 blah. That's all done pre-egg, and it gives me just a brief outline of what I'm going to talk about. So, of course, staying within those guidelines, Gary Vaynerchuk is on my mind again. He's like my man crush, I guess. You know what? I got to say something about this guy. Every time I watch him and I listen to him speak and the conviction that the man has and what he's talking about. And you know what? He's selling, definitely. He's got his image that he's selling. He's got a business that he's running. It's all about using every aspect of social media to sell his wares. And there's offshoots from that, of course, where he gets invited to speak at conferences all around North America. And a lot of the times where he's going to speak is you've got an audience full of men in business suits. Sorry, and ladies. And these are people that are being sent by their companies because they're trying to crack the nut that is social media. And they're trying to figure out how it works and why it works and what can we do. And I've seen companies that have successfully dialed into social media, like Twitter. And I've seen ones that have failed miserably because they don't understand it. And even the ones that are succeeding, I don't think they really understand the spirit of what is social media. And as Gary says, and I posted the link, you got to watch the keynote. If you got some time, just check it out. If you're interested in starting a business and want to find out, what it takes to really, this guy, he knows what he's talking about. He has 1 million people following him on Twitter. He's selling enough wine right now that he's actually amassing. He wants to buy the New York Jets. That's his dream. That's his passion. That's his goal. Everything right now he's working towards. And of course, he's doing something that he loves. He's, when he gets in front of the camera to talk about Wine Library and to talk about wine, this is a guy that's fired by passion. He knows what he's talking about. He loves what he's talking about. And he drives that message out. So anyways, here's a guy that gets up in front of all these fat cat suits who are trying to scratch through, what it's going to take so they can get even bigger and richer by tying into social media, which is now one of the, the fastest growing platforms for reaching an audience, and they don't get it. He talks about a thank you economy. And basically how a thank you economy works is it's really simple. You are supporting my business, and I appreciate it, and I will go to the utmost to keep you coming back as a customer. And that means taking care of you right through to the end. And, not making excuses, but getting it done. If I've got something to sell you, let's make sure that from the start of the transaction to the very end of the transaction, that I've done what I promised I'm going to do. And that I absolutely care enough to talk to you and say thank you. A lot about the stuff that Gary really tries to drive home to people is it doesn't matter if you're a mom and pop operation or you're a massive conglomerate. You need to have the same mentality in this day and age. If you want to get people's attention, engage them, talk to them. I guess that's kind of what I'm doing right now with my egg. I'm putting it out there. This is me. There's no bullshit here. I'm not trying to be somebody I'm not. Everything that I talk about is right from my heart, man. I mean it. This is stuff that fires me up. It's stuff that makes me excited. Sometimes I think when I'm doing it, there's a narcissistic edge to what it is because, I'm sort of putting myself out there talking about stuff, and it's like, who gives a shit? Well, you know what? I guess you got to get past that whole idea because it's not about ego right now. It's about, you know what, I am trying to accomplish something by, networking via social media. And it's a means to an end, because I really believe that I'm seeding the soil. And with patience and time, I'm going to see some fruits of my labor. And where I'm really hoping it's going to pay off. And it's very similar to, when Gary started Wine Library, a very passionate thing is basically taking his business and growing it to, this incredible, Fortune 500 company. I mean, it's massive. And he did it through passion and throwing himself out there and just being him. I'm taking a lot from that. I read the book Crush It. I've talked about it. And I use him constantly for inspiration. I'll tell you something I love about this guy. And I'm not going to spend the whole episode talking about Gary Vaynerchuk, because people are going to start talking about me. And it's nothing like that. You know what? If you get a chance, add him as a friend on Facebook. You know what? Follow him on Twitter. Watch what he's doing. Here's a guy that, you'll be hooked into Facebook, and all of a sudden he'll fire a message off saying, hey, I'm going to be on Ustream in 15 minutes. Meet me there. Well, you go there, and all of a sudden there's 400 people in a chat room, and he's just sitting in his office, and he just starts firing. He starts talking about what he knows, what he loves, his passion. He's throwing it out there. He's not charging anything for it because he wants to share this. It's something that he loves. He's going to get it back. He knows he's going to get it back. And for no other reason, one of the messages that I love that he's sending out there is, you know what? Just the thank you economy. Be real. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Don't be afraid to share. And you'll get results, where we've gone away from that. And in a lot of big businesses right now, how many of you out there, when you go into a big company, let's use Walmart, for instance. For someone like myself, and sometimes I think maybe it's just because of my size and the way I look, I walk into Walmart and they've got a greeter stand at the front door. I'll be fucked. Sorry, I didn't really want it to come out like that. Those guys, they don't engage. I'm not getting a hello. Now, granted, he's probably making $8, $9 an hour and doesn't really give a rat's ass about you walking through the fucking door. But here's the thing. It's a trickle down. And it all starts at the very top and comes down. So you know what? If the management's bad and the management doesn't treat their employees with any kind of respect or any kind of dignity, guess what? When you walk into that store, that's what you're going to feel. And it's oppressive. And it's unfortunate because so many big companies are like that, and they don't get it. So, I watch Gary talk in front of these suits, and I know they're sitting back there, and they're going, oh, yeah. Okay, so we get a Twitter account, we get on, and we start talking to people, and then the next thing you know, we can sell our wares, and we can become bigger, and we can make more money, and they absolutely don't get it. You need to engage. You need to be real, and you need to be not only engaged, you need to be receptive, and that's one of the things that I'm really learning. I mean, when somebody fires back an email to me, maybe they don't like what I'm talking about today. I have to be open to that, and I have to be ready to respond to that. And you know what? I don't have a million people following me on Twitter. I'm at about 400. Some of those people are tuning in. I've got the people that follow me on Facebook. And I get enough emails that there are times where, I could be just a lazy asshole and say, fuck, whatever. You didn't like it? I don't care. Don't like it. Don't watch. But you know what? Then I've lost the whole reason for doing this. So, of course, most times I'm going to be responding back to say, hey, thanks. I appreciate you tuning in. Doc, who he responds to almost every egg I put up, which is awesome. Most people prefer to send me an email because they don't want to put it out there. You know what? I respect everybody's way of getting it. It's either they're going to text me, they're going to send me a message via my email, or like Doc, they're going to drop it right on the thing, and he's going to tell me exactly what he thinks. And sometimes it's like, whoa, man, he just hit me right here, right between the eyes. But I appreciate it because he's got a point of view, and you have to be able to accept and respect everybody's viewpoint on anything. And especially when you're doing what I'm doing, where you're throwing ideas out there that people aren't always going to agree with. you have to be ready, and you have to be willing to accept the fact that people are going to criticize you, but be accessible. And that's the whole thing about Gary. That's what I think is really fascinating. Okay, I'm at 10 minutes, and I've talked almost exclusively about Gary, and I really want to talk about Paul Hughes today. YouTube, the way it works, of course, I get 15 minutes. If I go past there, then I have to start cutting it up. It's really ugly, and it shouldn't go past 15 minutes anyways, because who's got 15 minutes to waste in their day? If you're still with me, I really appreciate it. So moving on to Paul Hughes really quickly here. And I'm going to use a little bit of research so that I can move fast. Here's a guy in Calgary. It's happening around North America where, before you know it, they're going to be telling you when you can't take a piss. He just wants chickens in his backyard. He wants hens so he can, harvest his own eggs so he can eat. They're charging him with this because our silly hall decided at some point to vote in favor of banning this kind of possession in your backyard. God forbid you would want to have a way to make your own food. If you want to have 300 cats in your backyard and don't license them and have them shit all over everybody else's yard, yeah, it's a bone of contention with me. I have, our front garden, we're always digging out other people's cat shit. One of the reasons they've squashed the whole chicken thing is they're worried about it being dirty. They're worried about feline chicken getting together and clashing heads. Well, cats are supposed to be licensed. They're supposed to be inside your house. They're not outdoor. If you live on a farm, have your fucking cat running around. If you live in the city, your cat should be inside. I mean, you think they got 9 lives? They're running out there. Things are going to happen. Anyways, I'm feeling a little frenetic right now. Seriously. We should be allowed to have chickens in our backyard. We should be able to do anything that helps reduce our footprint in this world. I'll tell you, just the silliness of the way things are set up in this city, and I know it's like this in other cities. We're fortunate enough to live in an older neighborhood, so we can have a clothesline. And we use it. In the summertime, we use it a lot. Why fire everything into the dryer and burn up all that energy when we can just roll it all out on the clothesline, bring it in, it smells nice. It's a little more work, but it's worth it. Well, in most areas of Calgary, to put laundry up on your clothesline, in the estimation of your neighbors, is something that is going to potentially destroy the property values of the place where they live. This is sort of where we're at right now. And that's the thing with chickens. These are the people that are so isolated. They live in a bubble. They get home after work. They pull into their garage. Their garage is attached to their kitchen. They walk into their kitchen. They do whatever, and they sit down, and they have no social interaction with their community or the people around them. And fear and ignorance drive them. And that's why we have stupid laws and stupid rules. And Paul Hughes, man, keep up your fight. If you get a chance, I put his link up too. Follow him on Facebook. The guy puts a lot of really awesome and relevant information about the food world and where we're going. And he talks about things like Monsanto and Food Inc. and that. It's really important stuff because moving forward, it's about community, bringing it all together. There's a recurring theme here, a recurring message. I probably talked as much as I should. Let's see, what's my time at? 13:43. I'm not quite at 15. Said what I need to say. I'm going to be back tomorrow. I've had a few people asking me, what's the deal with John Spade? Your name's John Landry. Why? What is this all about? I'm going to get into detail about it, and hopefully anybody else out there that's thinking about ways that they can, get a message out, I'd like to help. And I'll give you the links. I'll share with you what I've learned so far, which I think I've already done some tonight. Anyways, I'm going on, so I'm going to go bye-bye. Have a great